Galaxy Radio.
Hello, Team Blue. Welcome to our session today on Blu Galaxy Radio. What we're going to be talking about is our International Leadership Development Program, which is available to our talent in the organization. And what it's about is really making sure that we elevate leadership capability within our organization, and we find and make sure that we develop the right talent. With me today, I have Sihle Ndlovu. He's from BLD Tech. And I have Nombuso Zwane, and she is from BLD Finance. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us, Lizelle.
So the first question I'm going to ask you, and this is going to be to you, Nombuso, is when you heard about this program, what made you say, yes, I want to do this?
Okay, so actually I was nominated for the program, by my line manager then. So basically, I think the idea was that in the future, I could be one of the executives or leaders. So I think that's how that opportunity came about.
Yeah. Did you find it exciting? Like, how does it make you feel thinking this company is investing in me and wants to elevate me to executive level?
It was very exciting because it meant that, there's a future for me here, and obviously they care for you, your growth and your development. So it was very exciting, and also having to do it with Gordon's at that time for me, or Gibbs. So then I thought, because I'm a numbers person, so I thought getting exposure to other things, other courses, different environments, so it was very exciting.
Yes, I can believe that. Sihle, I'm going to ask you the same question. Why did you say yes?
So two things. I think the first one, because at the time Nombuso was part of technology in her finance role, I had sort of gotten to learn and understand what the program was about, and I'd taken a very keen interest in really seeing, where does the program take them and so forth, right? And the one aspect that was exciting about was the travel, right?
Yes.
But similar to Nombuso as well, the other aspect of it was also the leadership talent and the development pipeline, right?
Yes,
in that Blu Label takes it quite seriously, from a people experience, as to how then do we make sure that we develop future talent and identify those emerging leaders, right?
Yes.
So when I was obviously elected, I was also excited because it was the prospect of the future travel. But then because I had got some knowledge, from our engagement with Nombuso, understanding, the exposure and the type of assignments that they'd done. So I was quite excited to be part of the program.
Good. So now let's get a little bit into what the program entails. So what is it like working on these group projects and working with people from other organizations, but still in the same industry? And I'm going to go to you, Nombuso, because you've been through the program, you've completed that already.
So it was quite interesting because we were very diverse background. So we had people from like a normal retail ShopRite. We had someone from We Buy Cars, different industry altogether. We had someone from a technology or science company as well. So basically I think what was exciting or fascinating is that obviously there's a lot of assignments together, because syndicate groups, different personalities as well. Some have strong personalities, some, like me, reserved, quiet, all I do is just do what is expected of me in the background. So we get to learn and learn from each other's strengths as well. So for example, if there's a project regarding technology, I think Checker 60 was one of big ones where we used to have examples, and then we had a lady working for ShopRite Group, so we were able to understand the development in the Checker 60 app, how it's growing and what we can learn from that as well, So I think another thing is, so I think having to understand personalities as well. And having to respect each other, knowing how to speak, and even if you don't agree with something, but you find a way to actually speak to someone. And if it's something you don't like, you address it in a respectful way. also then, as I said, we used to draw from each other's things. So I'm a numbers person. So like anything with that had to do with numbers, for example, I'll put my hand up, to work on it. We had financial accounting course, we had management accounting course as well. So I'd lead those courses, and then someone who's good in marketing, for example, they will lead that, and someone who's good in technology, they will lead those things. So, but we all together, we had to learn from each other.
Yes.
And which was very exciting.
So you just broaden your exposure because you learn about the different functions within business. You learn what's happening in our country, how our organization can actually function and contribute to the GDP. Now I'm going to go to you, Sihle. How do you think we can bring those learnings and lessons that you learn on this journey? How can we bring that back into the organization, or how are you going to bring it back into the organization?
So the exciting part about this whole thing is that I'm still part of the program, right? And one of the key things that I'm really, really enjoying is that the projects are hands-on, right? It's not as if we taking case studies of other companies who've done something similar in the past, right? I mean, at the moment we're busy with an assignment around value creation, and it's about understanding how does your organization create value, right? And as part of that process, obviously looking at the various disciplines from business operations to marketing to finance and all of these things. And it's about learning all of that and then coming back and saying, how then do I apply that? You go and they say, go read your company's integrated report, right? Understand exactly how does your company govern, how does your company create value, and how does your company, have a positive social impact in terms of the various initiatives that we're part of, right? And as part of that value creation process, where are some of the challenges? And as part of that, where can we then, based on your current role, where do you see your role fit in? And based on that, what are some of the wins and interventions that you can implement in your company? So the assignments and the projects are very much hands-on. You come back to organizations, you interview stakeholders, you interview your financial managers, your business development managers to understand where are the challenges, right? Because the idea is if you are part of a leadership course and you are supposed to come and give back, you need to give back based on context. It's contextualized. What are the issues that Blu Label Unlimited is facing, right? And when I then come back, how am I going to make that positive change? Because I haven't taken theory, I haven't taken peer-reviewed journals and so forth. I've used that as an input as part of my process. Correct, that's great. But apply it to your organization, then you can then see where that value comes in. So as I'm still part of the program, but that's how I'm already applying those principles and making sure that I bring back what I'm learning as part of the program.
100% agree.
So you're still in the you're still on the process in the program,
correct, yes.
On the journey, but you're already taking some of those principles and some of those learnings and you're bringing it back. And maybe Nombuso, is there anything you want to add to that, because you've already been through the process and you've seen how it has just elevated not just your knowledge but your own empowerment. So maybe tell us what you've brought back from that.
So basically, in the immersions as well, we had to visit different industries or companies like logistics, manufacturing. There was universities as well where we got lectures as well. But I think one of the key things or key themes for me that I learned across, so if you look at Porter's Far, if you look at Pastel, how Sihle has explained that obviously you look at the challenges now, you understand if there's a challenge, how do you then mitigate against that?
Yeah.
So one thing, the key thing for me was data, the use of data. So from the marketing course, how do we use data in such a way that creates value for us? How do you understand customer data, customer trends?
Customer insights,
So one of the immersion countries was Thailand. I think that's the last one, last year, October this time. And obviously we were walking around the stores, one of the big wholesalers, Sakai Makro, there. And then the lady was explaining to us, we were by the cheese fridge, and then she was like, actually, Thai people never used to buy cheese, but because now they're traveling to Europe, and she said data tells them that now more and more people are going to be buying cheese.
Oh, wow.
So now they're stocking it up. Obviously, they're creating value, they're creating gross profits and net profits growth
and from a
as
business
well.
perspective, they can already prepare for that
The growth
demand.
of future demand, correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and for like learning to forecast, so I think that was an important thing. The trend for me was data, even in our innovation course as well, strategic and innovation course. It was how do we then use data to benefit us? What do we learn? What do we learn from customer trends, and then how do we then apply? I think from that's why I got to be closer to the BI team here, because all I want is just to see how I can use data to my advantage. And
so it's opened up an avenue, a different avenue, a different skill for you. But now I'm hearing Nombuso drop her a travel destination, Thailand. So I wanna go in that direction. I want to ask both of you, because I know you've traveled to different destinations, and maybe you can share with us where you've traveled to, some of your experiences. And then I'm going to take it to Sihle as well, because this is the part I want to hear.
So the first one last year was Egypt. So the African one and the international one. So the African one was Egypt, and then international one was Croatia, Slovenia, and Thailand.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. So as much as it might be exciting that you're traveling, but it's actually all about work. You get into a bus at 8 after breakfast. You go around the different companies, you learn, come back exhausted, all you want to do is shower, eat and sleep. But obviously there was the last day, they will reserve it for like entertainment and going out. But yeah, so there was a lot of pressure, because every single visit, there's a task associated with that to say, okay, what did you learn? How do you apply it back at your workplace, back in your country? So it was always like syndicate group meetings, assignments, But I think getting to know the country and the culture as well was exciting. Like in Egypt, people don't sleep. They trade all night.
Wow.
The markets are open all night. Then we then said, how do we apply it in South Africa? But obviously you have to look at things like crime, and see, how do you work around that. Thailand was also fun. It was filled with a lot of fun. But also we learned a lot from the companies that we visited. It was mostly retail, like wholesalers, basically, like a macro. Where else did we go? Like we did a bank as well. But I think the key thing as well, where I picked up was data, the use of data, customer trends, and how they then use that for their advantage.
Did you go to the beach in Thailand?
So basically, what I did was I extended my trip, and then we went to Phuket. We went to Phi Phi Island. So we went to the beach. We visited different beach clubs as well. But in between, when you're doing the calls and the assignments, there's no time. So, but they did give us an opportunity to extend our stay. And then that's what I did.
Amazing. Travel.
So far, as I'm still part of the program, so we've only been to Zambia at the moment. So in the new year, we're going to be going to Berlin and Singapore. So those are two countries we're going to be visiting. And I think it obviously follows a similar structure, where it's very structured in that you have company visits. So when we're in Zambia, the first company we met was with the Chamber of Commerce to understand exactly, commercially, what are some of the things that Zambia is doing in terms of contributing to GDP and employment, and obviously allowing or attracting investment into the country, and how then do we use those for skills development as part of that program. And I think that set up a quite a nice context for us then, as to we met with the various companies for the duration of the week. So we met with different companies. We met with Yalelo, which is a company that obviously deals with fish. Yalelo means fresh fish for today. We met with Tigmu, which is their version of our Take a Lot. We met Tigmu.
Oh,
Tigmu, yes.
Okay.
We also met with Zambeef, which basically their key thing is from farm to fork. And one of the key things that you sort of learn from these things is how these companies have really mastered vertical integration as to how do I own the entire value chain, right? From source to say how do we responsibly farm these cows, right? And these companies are doing exceptionally well. You wouldn't think that companies in Zambia would be doing such amazing things, where the company is certified, ISO certified, that on food safety and all of these things, and how they also train the farmers. How do you responsibly grow? How do you grow your livestock and all of these things. But one of the key things that I was very impressed with as part of their vertical integration was, you've got Zam beef, Zam loaf, Zam shoes, and all of these things. These guys have literally mastered the art of, creating, further products based on whatever's left off as part of their production. Funny enough, there's a Soweto market in Zambia. I was quite shocked to hear about.
Market.
Yes, right. So one of the days we obviously went to Soweto market, because one of the key things is what drives the economy is sometimes not necessarily sort of formal employment. The informal sector also plays quite a huge role, right? In terms of, you've got these as informal traders that aren't necessarily, per the book contributing, but they are doing quite a lot, But I mean, when we had the owner of the market walk us and obviously just took us through how the trading process works in the market and all of these things, and how some of these farmers come in with their stock in the morning, and obviously then they buy from these farmers, and then they sell it to the rest of the public. You would be amazed how massive that market is. There's about 5,000, informal traders on that, right? Wow. It is massive. You've got a section that deals, with fresh produce. You've got a section that deals with variety goods, where the section that cooks for these guys. There's a section that deals with clothes and so forth. Just to see that and see how many people are out here and actually, creating incomes for themselves and creating livelihoods.
You get to see GDP.
Exactly, right? You get to see that sometimes really it's about how then do you tap into that, right? And then how do you enable those type of informal programs that are going to contribute. We always look to governments to help us, help the youth. But there's this other part of the economy that is being neglected. And, how then do we harness that knowledge? And that, as Nombuso rightly puts it, how do we harness that data, right? And then from there, what then do you do with it as part of that? So I think that was the biggest highlight. And I think one of the other things was, again, when after all of these side visits where you get to interact with these companies, you walk the floors, you understand how the production process works, right? It's what insights do you get from that, right? And from those insights, what are some of the common challenges that, from a Zambian perspective and from a South African perspective, where are the similarities, right? And then you start looking at from an African context as to where are the challenges, and as future leaders, as part of this program, what is our role in actually making sure that we've got active initiatives that help us alleviate some of these issues.
And we bring that home, bring that back into our business.
100%.
It's so fascinating listening to the two of you, and you speak with such passion. And I can see that you really enjoy being on the program. You enjoy being on the program, irrespective of the challenges of balancing work and the travel and the actual studies that went in. So it's quite a process to be selected to go on to the program. So just very quickly, Nombuso, talk us through, you spoke about nomination, maybe talk us through what happened after that until the final stage where they said, now you are part of this program. Because the reason why I asked this, we're currently in that season of applications. So maybe for our viewers, just an understanding of what that looks like.
All right, so the first thing is you get a form from W&RSETA. I received it from HR. And then, or HC rather, and then you complete that form.
Same thing.
You send out your qualifications. The manager had to motivate as to why you qualify to be in the program. And then once you do that, then I think I got an email to say I need to apply through the University of Pretoria. So then you do your normal registration qualifications and completing personal details. Thereafter, I think before they assign you a student number, I think then Gordon's then called us to set up a meeting. Then there was 120 students that applied, or delegates that applied. but then you go through an interview process.
Yeah.
So basically, before that, when you're applying at the University of Pretoria's website, you do like a psychometric test, maths. They also take your maths as well. So you get your results, and then obviously if you make it, then you go to an interview. So I went there physically here in Ndlovu. There's a panel of like professors, doctors interviewing you as to how are you gonna bring this back to your community, to your workplace or your company. So then I think after that, then they do the final selection, and then it was 60 people. So then I was shortlisted for the 120. Then I got shortlisted. So then I got into the final for the 60. After that.
So, Nombuso, you went. Which year did you go on the program again?
So I started in 2024, June.
Yes. So that year they chose one person from Blu Label, and then again the following year, Sihle, you were selected, and you were the only one from Blu Label again. So hopefully this year we get to
get more
people on the program.
Yeah, we must.
So I know we have to close this. Before we do though, is there one thing that you've learned from the people that you've been with on the project? Is there one thing you learned about yourself that you didn't know?
Yeah, sure. I think for me, it's understanding how resilient you are. Juggling work and life and school can be quite challenging, right? And I think you also get to learn how sometimes there's so much similarities between you and other people because you guys are all in the same journey, right? So getting to share that and also just be vulnerable with the team members when you're struggling, right? It helps you see that actually I am not alone, and you can sort of learn other coping strategies that also help you sort of, do better as part of the program. So I think definitely that, and obviously learning, I think one of the key things I love is the program focuses a lot on personal mastery, right? And one of that is the ability for you to be vulnerable, right? You spend so much time with the syndicate members that, once you get to be vulnerable and you are able then to ask for the support, that helps to make the journey a little bit more easier and a little bit more bearable. Still requires quite a lot of dedication and discipline as part of the process, but once you are able to, to ask for help when you need it, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I love that. I love the vulnerability part, and I think it's such an underrated quality to be able to develop.
That is great.
Yeah.
So on my side as well, I think I'll speak about resilience as well. I think I did the course when work for me was very stressful at that time. So having to balance work, studies, and obviously you've got this big research paper that at the end of the course you need to produce. You need to present research, interviews, writing a 70-page document, doing research, doing.
How long did that take you?
Sure, it was actually throughout the program basically, but we had to do it for 8 months or so, to get into it. So research, for me, learning something new. For me, research was totally new, that you have to go to this website, understand this academic writing style, what is legit, what is not legit, and then having to read someone's writing and conclusion, and how do you then apply it to your research paper. Actually, our syndicate group won that project.
Wow. Well done, I remember that.
Yes, because we had to then apply it to the real life. How do you apply it to South Africa? How do you apply it to South African students and kids, in order to expose kids to technology, so that was very exciting and fulfilling when you can actually take that project and apply implement it to a school, go to a school, meet with the Department of Education and implement it. So I think being resilient, having to put in the hours, having to be because it's a team effort as well. You can't let the team down. You have to make sure that you meet your deadlines. You after hours, if there's meetings to be held, you're present, you give feedback. You can't just sit quiet and not say anything in that meeting. Being there for the team, I think, was one of the greatest things ever, because you have to be don't be selfish. They can't wait for you for the project assignment to be done.
and you are forever left expanded once you've been on this program. But I think that is all we have time for today. I'd like to thank Sihle and Nombuso. And congratulate them, because I think it's quite not just an honor, but it's quite commendable that you guys have been chosen, because I know it's quite a strenuous process that you have to go through for them to make sure that you actually are capable of going on this program. So congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
So I'd like to thank our guests today, Sihle and Nombuso. They've been amazing for sharing their stories and sharing their passions with us today. My name is Lizelle Revell. And it has been absolutely exciting for me to be here and to host this talk today. And until next time, where we'll be talking about learning, developing culture on Blu Galaxy Radio, I'd like to say goodbye and see you next time.
Thank you.
Awesome.